In the aftermath of the shooting at the 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois, the reports are that 6 people are dead and 38 have serious injuries. Please explain to me what an unserious gunshot injury is. If the hole is in you, believe me, you'll be certain that it's serious. There were more than 70 shots fired in 22 seconds, so while you're in explaining mode, tell me why private citizens should be allowed to possess weapons capable of such carnage. The local fire and police, the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force, the Chicago Police Aerial Unit, the Stadies, the ATF, and the FBI were all over this massacre almost instantly. They sifted through eyewitness reports, surveillance videos, every tip and every bit of information they could find, and they got the 21-year-old bad guy in about 7 hours. Massive kudos to all of these professionals. My frightened family and neighbors all over the area very much appreciate the massive instantaneous response of these dedicated folks. We don't know the motivation of the shooter yet. We can reasonably guess that he's angry, and we can reasonably guess that he believes he's been victimized and thinks that lashing out at those he hates is justified. He wants to disrupt our lives, to punish us for whatever it is he thinks is wrong. He wants to take from us our sense of safety and our trust in one another. He wants to take away our country and replace it with some macho Wild West cartoon. How else to explain his killing innocents on the 4th of July? Still, this shooting, while horrid, is not surprising. We are a country that quickly goes to violence when we feel wronged. John Lewis had a lifetime of working for Americans and America, and he refused to succumb to hatred for those who attacked him. He was a force for good in a world that wished him anything but. When terrible things were done by Americans to Americans, he would rail, "This is not who we are. We're better than this." As much as I honor and appreciate John Lewis, I disagree. The January 6 insurrectionists and seditionists were absolutely certain that they were true patriots. They believed they had been wronged and were carrying the spirit of 1776 in their veins. They hysterically shouted the Lord's Prayer in the Senate chamber, letting the world know that they were certain that their Christian God was on their side as they did their violence, intending to kill yet more Americans. They came with spears and brass knuckles, AR-15s and Glocks, body armor and sharpened flagpoles, and inspiration and intel from the Oval Office itself. There was little difference between them and Bull Connor, the Selma Police, and the Alabama National Guard, the people who proudly cracked open John Lewis's head. Something like 30% of the citizens of this country think violence like that of the insurrectionists is justified. So it should come as no surprise that our extreme haters do things like hunkering down on a roof in a suburban town, snuggling up with a high-powered rifle, and shooting people in a 4th of July parade. This is exactly who we are. With all of our mass murders, so many of us are feeling hopeless, frustrated, furious, and even ashamed of our country. That's understandable. We may feel like quitting and succumbing to distrusting others, but that lets the bad guys win. That lets the bad guys claim to have made more Americans give up and drop out. That hurts us all. That's why we must not allow distrust of one another to creep into our lives. We must not let any bad guy take away our courage and our sense of patriotism. We must not let bad guys divide us into hate camps. We must never let the bad guys win. Our violence dates back to before we were a nation, so I have no illusion that we can make that go away anytime soon. What must happen instead is to overpower the violence lovers and the haters. Not with guns and brass knuckles, but with votes. Last election, 110 million people didn't vote. Never again. Do not give up. Do not give in. Do not let that Highland Park son of a bitch or any other bad guy win. This is our country. One final comment. That Highland Park shooter lived 20 minutes from my house. His killing spree happened 12 minutes from my house. And there's more. In 2020, there was a Trump rally in my town. They came from as far away as the Carolinas in oversized pickup trucks with oversized engines and oversized tires and oversized American and Trump flags. I was unable to not think the words overcompensating and temper tantrums. They circled through town over and over, honking horns, blocking traffic, being disruptive, and eliciting cheers from the Trumpies on the sidewalk. I had organized a counter-protest across the street from the Trumpies. My family was there. What I learned today is that the Highland Park shooter was at that rally too, across the street from us, spewing hate. Very freaky. Our national bullying and mobocracy shootings are personal, whether they're in Uvalde or Buffalo or on Chicago's affluent, very low crime rate North Shore. If you're a person, this is personal. From Prime Minister Winston Churchill's address to Harrow School on October 29, 1941, quote, "Never give in. Never give in. Never, 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 never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in, except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy." Close quote. This is our country. Never, 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 never give in. I'm Jack Alshuler.